Newcastle. Switching back to our team then, our boys today, switching back to the team. We'll go through the team, and at fullback today is Will Dagger. Into the wing 3/4 line, we have Gareth Gale and Josh Hardcastle, Craig Hall and Perry Whiteley. Into the halfbacks then, Tom Holmes will take up the standoff berth, and for Manu Brown, the scrum half position. James Harrison makes a welcome return at prop, supported by Connor Jones and James Lockwood in the front row. Junior Moores, after his call-up to the All-Stars team, is available to play as he didn't get selected. So Junior Moores comes into the second row, supported by Frankie Holton. And tying everything up, Louis McConnell ties up the back of the scrum. Into the subs for Featherstone, Dean Parada, John Davis, Callum Field and Luke Cooper. Today's referee is Nick Bennett from Dewsbury. And there we have the usual RFL show of respect to stop all forms of discrimination in any way, shape or manner right across the game. And we wait for this to get underway. Featherstone will attack the Post Office Road end, and it will be Newcastle that will go towards the Ward Hygiene Services stand. Will Dagger, in his second week, will put ball to boot and get us underway here. And the referee gives the signal and we're off. So Dagger kicks that one straight, and that one goes straight into the hands of Sam Halsall. We'll bring in the Newcastle team as well when we get a break. But it is Newcastle with the first set of 6 coming up the slope, and James Harrison into the tackle straight away with Connor Jones and Lockwood. Newcastle then bring the ball to this near stand side, just below our commentary position. Brown and Hardcastle doubling up there on Wildy. As the ball now moves to the hands, through Vans very, very quickly into the centre of the park. And Newcastle eventually wrapped up just shy of the 40-metre line with Chapelhow. On the halfway line then, 5th and last tackle. What will Newcastle do? They'll put a little deft kick over. That will bounce, and that will just eventually sit up. Into the league's top try scorer, Gareth Gale with 12. He'll be wanting to add to his total today. And Gareth Gale will play the ball to Famanu Brown. Famanu Brown will just let that ball go, and I think that's to Perry Whiteley. Rovers then in the centre of the park. Josh Hardcastle. 2 minutes gone, 0-0. Rovers just shy of their own 40-metre line. Jones to Lockwood. Lockwood will go. He gives a show and go, and he does work quite well there. Lockwood manages to continue, and he lets the Newcastle players drag him further forward towards the halfway line. And Connor Jones in there very quickly. James Harrison steps into the mark, went for the gap, did James Harrison. Couldn't spot the run of New Brown supporting, but New Brown eventually gets the ball, and the kick comes in from New Brown. The testing kick here, that is well and truly covered by Callum Turner, the Newcastle Thunder fullback today, and it's Newcastle back in possession. Ben, give us your thoughts on the opening sets.
Yeah, well, nothing's really happening so far, Pete. Possession in the middle of the park for both teams. Rovers now feel like they just need to try and pin Newcastle in behind their 40-metre line and play with intensity like we said from the start. As Newcastle break free, it's a great tackle there by James Harrison. So good to see him back, running about in the field, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah, him and Lockwood doubling up there, restricting the amount of field position that Newcastle got. So having to kick on the 5th and last tackle from deep inside, they were just shy of the 40-metre line. And the first penalty afternoon for a high shot on Will Dagger then. So as penalties go, it's 1-0 to Featherstone. And Dagger will put boot to ball, and he'll send that way downfield. Now, it looked, I thought he kept that in, but the touch judge over there said,
out, I think.
Yeah, said it was out. So we will restart on the 20-metre line. Craig Hall will tap it, and that will go into the hands of Lockwood. Lockwood looked for a runner, saw Brown was coming through, but decided to hold the ball in the tackle. Rovers, centre of the park. 18 metres away. Harrison on a burst. Harrison goes. He tries to steamroller his way through there to get round Ed Chapelhow. Connor Jones to Holmes to New Brown, working down the left-hand side. And
it's a big chance this for Rovers, Pete.
Yeah. The ball goes into the hands of Louis McConnell. Louis McConnell drives forward. Holmes telling who he wants on this ball, linking with Jones. They decide to go down the blind side, and James Lockwood there tries just a couple of inches short. Fifth and last tackle then. The ball through hands. McConnell, Brown to Holmes. Holmes feigns the kick, back to Hardcastle, back to Hall. Hall, the slippery customer, manages to offload, but that sees the Newcastle player in the right place at the right time. Newcastle come away with the ball.
I was impressed with Newcastle's defence there, Pete. I think they handled that situation really well. It was dangerous for Featherstone, but Newcastle, they stood strong, stood to their task, and now they've got the ball and trying to break free and make some yards on the Rovers' defence.
We'll give you the Newcastle team then. At fullback, Callum Turner. On the right wing is Kane Tyra. He's partnered by Samuel Halshaw as his centre. Kieran Gill makes up the other centre. Alexander Clegg on the other wing. Reece Dean and Joshua Woods make up the half-backs. Ed Chapelhow, Bob Bezic and Nathan Wild make up the front row of the pack. And you've got Owen Harrison, Samuel Wide and Ewan Simmons. And a kick there, fifth and last tackle from Newcastle. The kick not really going anywhere. Easily recovered by Perry Whiteley. And now a second penalty of the afternoon for Newcastle being offside. So, no score on the scoreboard, but 2 penalties in Featherstone's favour. And I'm just going to say, Ben, something that I was made aware of this week. This referee, we've not had this referee since 2018. However, in the 6 games that he's refereed so far in 2021, he has awarded 74 penalties prior to those 2. So he does award a lot of penalties, so we need to be careful not to get penalised by him.
Like you say, 2 already today, so he's keeping up that good tally he's created for himself this year, Pete.
Yeah.
As Rovers 20 metres from the try line now.
Brown looks, drops the ball to Holmes. Quick hands from Dagger to Hardcastle. Hardcastle trying to find a little chink there in the Newcastle armoury, but Newcastle quick to shut the door. Holmes in to McConnell. McConnell is brought down 3 metres out now. Back to 1. So plenty more tackles in the bank now. Rovers need to use this Craig Hall, and Craig Hall comes up with a error. First error of the afternoon then, and Craig Hall comes up with the error, and that sees Rovers lose possession. I don't think Hall was aware that that Featherstone had another set of 6, and I think they were trying to force the play there, if anything.
They thought they had 5th and last, but like you say, the tackle count got reset. They were 20 metres, even 10 metres even from the try line. That was a big chance for Featherstone if Hall was a bit more aware of what was going on. Newcastle looks to break free now, but this Featherstone defence, pressing high, playing with intensity, is what we called for last week. Yeah, certainly off the front foot then defensively wise, as McConnell and Holton come in there in the early stages of this one. 0-0, 7 minutes gone. Newcastle in the centre of the park. And Newcastle trying to run round Junior Moores. It's going to take a lot more than that to get past their big man here. Newcastle then quickly putting the ball through hands. Now trying to find a gap down this right-hand side. And Gareth Gale comes there. And what a Herculean defensive effort that took from Gareth Gale. Also supported by Harrison and Hardcastle. Just to knock the Newcastle man, I think it's Tyra, just to send him into touch. That's woken up the crowd, Peter.
Yeah, the boys on the Post Office Road end, the Lunatics, certainly became a little bit more lively with that. We've got a little bit more noise in the ground, which is good. Fans here again, supporting the team, getting behind the team, which is all we can ask here on Rovers TV. Rovers then with Lockwood. Lockwood striding forward. Again, using his experience to let the Newcastle players just drag him quite easily, get the extra yards. Connor Jones to McConnell to Holmes. Holmes spots the gap. Holmes goes through the gap. And Holmes tries to force his way through there. Eventually he's brought down The ball will come back into the centre of the park, into McConnell from Jones, and McConnell will just try to get some yardage. He's held on the 20-metre line. Holmes to Brown. Brown with the show and go to Moores, Junior Moores. Junior Moores trying to get some forward momentum. Junior Moores still going, and the referee comes in now and calls fifth and last.
5 thunder tackles it took to get the big man over there.
Harrison to Holmes. Holmes with a deft little kick, looking for a runner inside to pick that one up. But Dagger and Holton there couldn't actually get to the ball, but what they did manage to do was pin the Newcastle fullback, Callum Turner, behind the line. So we have our first dropout of the game.
Yeah, well done there, Frankie Holton and Will Dagger.
In Featherstone's favour.
I think Will Dagger, Pete, he brings a brilliant intensity and energy levels to the game. He's got leadership qualities as well for someone his age.
Talking all the time to the guys, making sure that they're covering every aspect. And again there you see him telling Tom Holmes where the ball was going. And Tom Holmes finding Lockwood, and Lockwood on a galloping charge. Lockwood gets inside the, 25 metres away now. Quick play of the ball. Harrison back in the team, pushing for a Wembley place. Does manage to offload to Connor Jones, keeping the ball alive. And McConnell on a burst. Rovers 5 metres out. Jones to Brown. Brown looking through the gap. Brown going for the gap. And Brown eventually brought down. Exciting stuff. Jones to Moores. Moores out the back door to Gareth Gale. And Gareth Gale does what he does best. Puts the ball down. Says thank you very much. 13 for the season. And 10 minutes gone. Is that the score doors opening for what could be some more tries to come, Ben? We hope so. Talk us through that one, buddy.
That could be the floodgates open there. I tell you what, I'm so impressed with Junior Moores. But it all come from that goal line dropout that Rovers forced. Tom Holmes, Dagger was giving him the instruction. Holmes picked it up. And then for Manu Brown with a great little burst, he found Junior Moores with an absolute peach of a pass. Moores found Gareth Gale, who gets his 13th try of the season and the league's top scorer. Cannot stop scoring at the moment. And Gareth Gale gives Featherstone the 4-0 advantage.
Well, a great try there by Gareth Gale to open up
I must
the
say, Pete,
scoring.
this Newcastle defence, they look tired already. They look dejected. 10 minutes in, this could be a long afternoon, long evening even for the Newcastle boys. They've been run ragged already a bit by Featherstone. I think have started very, very well. Last week, they didn't start with that intensity. Webster was, saying that he was a bit disappointed with the first half last week at Dewsbury, as Craig Hall kicks wide there.
Well, the conversion just falls short from Hall, so it is 4-0 to Featherstone. And we wait for Newcastle to bring the ball back. Interestingly enough, all of Featherstone's players reset, ready to go, and ready for the kick-off then. And it will be Woods who places the ball down. Joshua Woods strikes that with his left foot, sends that deep, does go into the hands of Holmes. Holmes finds a runner in Harrison, and Harrison strides away and brings us back 15 metres away from his own try line. So, Rovers with the ball. Newcastle slowing the ruck play down. Rovers lucky there not to, well, I did think they were lucky to not to come up with an error there, but they have. And the referee has given it. He has said crossing. So, Holmes there with Lockwood.
Dangerous
which
position
gives,
this, Pete, as well.
Yeah, gives Newcastle advantage now. We sit 18 metres away from the Featherstone try line. Featherstone 4, Newcastle 0. First tackle down. Newcastle up to the 10-metre line. Quickly put the ball through hands. Woods trying to float one over the top to find his winger. And his winger, unlucky, has just run
out
and put a foot in touch. The touch judge over on the stable stand side said no. Unfortunately, we can't have that one. Has put a foot in touch. So an error there for Newcastle.
So it was a superb pass to find him out on the wing there, Pete.
Yeah.
Featherstone got to be careful of that.
Certainly was, because Josh Wood certainly floated that one far and wide to hit his winger. Anyway, Rovers with the ball, with Gareth Gale. And Gareth Gale just shimmying away and again using the ploy that they'll let the defensive unit just drag them back
James
as Harrison bundles his way, and Harrison makes a good 15 metres there before he's brought down. Rovers just shy of the halfway line. Jones to Brown. Brown sells a dummy. Brown back on the inside to Jones. Jones looking for runners. He doesn't need it. He's going to go all the way. Connor Jones, ding dong, game on.
Wow, for Manu Brown, take a bow, son. That is absolutely superb from him. And Connor Jones can take the plaudits for the try. But for me, that's all about for Manu Brown, Pete.
Well, you've got to say, we've said it before in commentary about that little step and that shimmy that Manu Brown has that he was noted for in the NRL. And well done, Connor Jones, there for actually making sure that he went with Manu Brown and he stood the support on the inside. That gave Brown options, and Brown knew that once he got that extra yard away before the fullback came over, he was going to give it back to Jones to allow Jones then to gallop away and put the ball down for what should be an easier conversion for Craig Hall this evening. So, 15 minutes gone. Rovers 8, Newcastle 0. Kick to come.
Yeah, Rovers look very, very up for this, Pete, I must say. Playing with a great intensity, and Craig Hall should get Rovers into double figures this evening, and he does. Featherstone 10, Newcastle 5-0.
Well, we started well, we started bright. And is this going to be another big score tonight? Who will know which way it's going to go? But keep listening in for the rest of the show. Hey, I'm rhyming here. I'm doing street rap, Ben. I'm terrible at it, but I am getting there. Anyway, Craig Hall, as we say, converts that one. It is Rovers 10. It is Newcastle 0. I'm just making some quick scribbles as we go along. And the ball gets kicked again by Joshua Woods of Newcastle. Puts that eventually into the hands of Lockwood. And Lockwood will bring the ball away again. So, middle channel. Cries for a bit of a high shot, but no, I think that one was okay. And it's Hardcastle now. Hardcastle is put on the floor on the 40-metre line. The referee making sure Newcastle are all on side. As Frankie Alton will go into gliding mode as he does. He glides past one before he's brought down just inside the Newcastle half. Lockwood then getting through. A lot of work on the fifth and last tackle. Rovers bang central of the park. We go to the left-hand side. Holmes puts boot to ball. That's a high testing kick. That is going to fall into the hands of Newcastle, and Newcastle race away there.
Perry
and that
Whiteley.
Was Alexander Clegg for Newcastle was stopped by Perry Whiteley, as you say. And then that's what we've come to see. That's what we expect from Featherstone. Connor Jones and James Lockwood just in there to let Chapelau
bit of afters there.
Yeah, to let Chapelau know.
There's a kick there.
Yeah. Well, it's warming up here, and the referee
I think the referee's seen that.
The referee's sending the Newcastle players away. He is going to call out Connor Jones. I think he's also going to call out James Lockwood here. So, who was it?
I'm not sure if he's going to call out Clan Tyra here, because when Jones was on the floor after he made a tackle, I did see Tyra kick out at him, Pete.
Yeah.
But obviously the referee hasn't seen that. But there was most certainly a kick out from Clan Tyra there.
So Kane Tyra, certainly be interesting to see that back when we watch that one back later, Ben. Just see what the afters were like. But it is Newcastle coming up the field towards the Ward Hygiene Services stand. Newcastle just over the 30-metre line then. 28 metres away from this Featherstone try line. As they move the ball back in the inside. And that goes to Nathan Wildey. Nathan Wildey is eventually brought down. But Newcastle trying to get some runners. Trying to bring the ball to its left-hand side. And trying to find a gap here. But that is quickly snuffed out there by Harrison. get my teeth right. Sam Alsol was the Newcastle player, wrapped up by Harrison. So Newcastle in the centre of the park, 10-0 to Featherstone. Tackles in the bank and a little kick over the top, and that goes dead. So this should see now Rovers restart, and Rovers just slowing things down. And Gareth Gale taps the ball, and Gareth Gale gets tackled down. Then the ball gets played to Perry Whiteley. Perry Whiteley just goes on a little gallop before Hardcastle comes in, and it is the wingers and the centres taking the first 3 drives of this set of 6. Hardcastle in there, just asking the referee for a little bit of support before Frankie Holton comes in, and he's eventually brought down. Rovers just in, well over the 40-metre line now with Lockwood. Lockwood sends Harrison through the gap, gets the ball back, does James Lockwood, then tries to feed Brown. Unfortunately, Brown wasn't expecting it back, and that's going to give momentum to Newcastle. Newcastle now trying to race up the field, and Newcastle, well done, Will Dagger, for getting back across there and bringing the Newcastle centre, Kieran Gill, to the ground. Newcastle then, with tackles in the bank, will try and get something moving here, some forward momentum. Featherstone have had to go from attack to defence very quickly. All the Featherstone players now back on side, ready to get out of the defensive traps. Dagger organising at the back. Newcastle probing at the front. Which way is this going to go? Featherstone's defence so far on top. Rovers 10, Newcastle 0. But could we see the first score of the afternoon for Newcastle? No. Great defence there from Manu Brown. Manu Brown asking for the knock-on, but the referee said no. Newcastle will move the ball back on the inside, and that is a wild pass, and that's going to be a knock-on. And that should see possession back to Newcastle.
Yeah, it's become
actually, yeah. Force the error there. So
kick through, and then McConnell's read it, but as he's gone down, he just knocks the ball forward, and it's a dangerous position now for a set of 6 for Newcastle.
So Newcastle, a fresh set of 6, as Ben says. And Newcastle trying to find a little gap in the Featherstone defensive frame, but Chappelau is brought down. They favour this. Well, Newcastle favouring to attack with Kaintaira. And just bear with me a moment while we just see what's going on. Little bit of confusion there.
Ball out to touch, Pete. Sorry, I did see that.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic pass from Newcastle out wide to Kaintaira, but he just couldn't quite grasp it in his stride, and he himself got over the try line, but he didn't bring the ball with him. The ball out to touch. Now Featherstone have got the ball.
Well, again, we see Newcastle trying to slow the play down around the ruck, and again, slow to release the man from the tackle, which certainly won't help Featherstone, as we like to get our ruck speed, and I think that's something that Newcastle will have picked up on, that we're very quick around the ruck, as John Davis now comes on. And for Manu Brown with that step again, finds Junior Moores in support. Junior Moores taking it one hand, still looking to keep going. Junior Moores not held, and Junior Moores now gets the support, does find Connor Jones, and Connor Jones is eventually brought down. Rovers 19 metres away from the Newcastle try line. Gareth Gale going on a hazy mazy run. He's brought down, 5th and last tackle. Rovers will go into the centre of the park. Brown to Holmes. Holmes crabs across the park, finds a gap in Hall. Hall finds a supporting player in Whiteley, and Whiteley puts the ball down for his first try in Featherstone colours. Fast stand. Well done, Tom Holmes. Well done, New Brown. Well done, Craig Hall. But excellent taken by Perry Whiteley. And the scoreboard keeps ticking over here at the Millennium. It is now Featherstone 14, Newcastle 0.
Yeah, wow. Like say, Pete, well done, New Brown. But Tom Holmes there, brilliant bit of work. And Craig Hall. And they find Perry Whiteley on the far-hand side, just in front of the Millennium Stadium stand. And Perry Whiteley gets over for his first try for the club in only his 2nd appearance. And Featherstone, every time they go forward, they look dangerous. I thought the last few minutes, Newcastle had grown into the game. but that's what Featherstone can do when they get a fresh set of 6 on the attack. They punish you with a hard kick to come now from Craig Hall.
Well, we've just had 23 minutes worth of play here at the Millennium. It is Featherstone, as we say, 14. Newcastle 0, the kick to come. And Craig Hall sends that one radar-like. That was like firing a torpedo from the submarine to hit the target, and that's exactly what he does. Another 2 points to Craig Hall this afternoon.
113 points for the season for Craig Hall now. What a stellar season he is having. 4 today with 2 conversions. And it's Featherstone 16, Newcastle 0.
So back underway. And John Davis then picks the ball up. John Davis runs with the ball and eventually is managed to, well, he's brought down to the turf unceremoniously, but he'll like that. And Moores is away. Moores on the gallop.
Oh, wow.
Finds Gareth Gale. Gareth Gale's going to go. 14 tries. Fantastic play. Junior Moores, take a bow. That one's all yours, son. Gareth Gale owes you a pint.
That is absolutely superb. All the Rovers players going over to Junior Moores and absolutely in awe of what he has just done there. That is absolutely superb. And
well,
he feeds Gaz Gale 14 tries this season. The man can't stop scoring, but Junior Moores showing exactly why he got selected for that Combined Nations squad. He is a brilliant, brilliant player.
Well, Rovers go out to 20 points to 0, and Gareth Gale, second try of the afternoon. Second try of the afternoon for Gareth Gale. And yeah, that seems absolutely all in order. But the work from Junior Moores there was fantastic in itself. Junior Moores linking well with New Brown, keeping that partnership going quite well. That seems to work well on this right-hand side whenever we attack. Craig Hall with a kick to come. Will he put this one over? Yeah, sure as houses. And that one's gone into somebody's back garden, so they'll be the happy recipient of that ball. But Craig Hall keeping the scoreboard ticking over here at the Millennium. It is Featherstone 22, Newcastle 0. And like I say, we've had, 25 minutes gone in this one.
This is what we were talking about, Pete, before the game, wasn't it? Featherstone go through periods in games where they're just absolutely devastating and they seem to score with every attack. And they're going through that stage now. Consecutive sets they've scored from, and Newcastle look dejected already.
Well, you tuned in to Rovers TV, bringing you full and uninterrupted. Do you know, I don't know what I've had today, Ben, but full and uninterrupted. Anyway, not disturbed commentary on this one. I will get it right. Featherstone then, with the ball, with Frankie Alton, before he's brought down, and we decide now through Connor Jones to go down the left-hand side, but the ball is quickly switched back inside to Harrison. Harrison comes back on the inside, cuts towards, well, just shy of the 40-metre line. Again, slowing the play down, not allowing us to play the ball quickly as McConnell to the fore. Hardcastle takes the ball from Brown, and Brown looking now, eager for work. Hardcastle is brought to the floor, and it's just shy of the 50. McConnell having a wow of the game. Absolutely getting through some tremendous yard work is McConnell. Fifth and last tackle. Rovers go to the left. Holmes. Ball hits boot. Sends that high. That's another tester for the Newcastle player. But Newcastle pull that one down to safety. Wrapped up on his own 10-metre line. A little juggle there from Newcastle as they decide to come forward. Callum Turner just pulling the ball in at the right time. Otherwise, would have committed a knock-on. But it is Featherstone's defence hungry for work. The defence getting off all of the blocks on the front foot, just as Webster likes it. Built his team on this solid defence of theirs so far. I hope that's not the commentator's curse, but it has been excellent so far. And that's a fantastic hit from Brown, also supported out by Hardcastle, as Newcastle were looking to try and find a little chink there. Wild certainly knew that it wasn't getting anywhere. That's a bit of a misnomer kick from Woods, and Will Dagger is in there. Gareth Gale beats off one, beats off two. Gareth Gale now knows what's coming, and it does come. It comes in the shape of two Newcastle tacklers. Bezic in there, certainly saying hello to Gareth Gale's nose, but it's still in the middle of his face, you'll be pleased to know. Anyway, play continues. Holmes sells a dummy as Luke Cooper comes on. And the ball is still alive, and it is now.
Oh, Tom Holmes, well done.
Tom Holmes, just overcooking the play, although the referee said that's okay. Play on, and that is an absolute smash there. That is going to see a little bit of remonstrating there from the Rovers players. Holmes not happy. Holmes will now go on a dance, and he certainly runs back at Bezic. Beats Bezic, brushes Bezic off there after the little incident between them two. And we now have a Newcastle player hurt down in back play. And I think that is Callum Turner, the fullback of Newcastle, that's gone down. But wow, oh wow, when Newcastle wanted to rough it up a little bit there and give Louis McConnell a bit of banjo, in stepped the boys to say, right, if you want it, we can have it.
It was Kyle Trout, the new boy.
Yeah.
Who's given the big hit, the big smash, as you called it, Pete.
Yeah.
To Louis McConnell, but Tom Holmes, Connor Jones, James Lockwood, they all ran over and said, if you want to give it to our boy, we'll give it to your boys. Lovely bit of team work, we called it there, Pete.
Well, it is Featherstone that's certainly in the ascendancy here. Featherstone lead 22 points to 0. The clock has been stopped. We've got about 11 and a half minutes left of this first half. Just something quickly to tell you about, guys, whilst it's fresh off the press. Our new online match day programme. It's a fantastic read. If you haven't had a chance, have a look at it. It's free to download. Really, really hope that a lot of Featherstone fans are going to get behind it, because it is a fantastic concept. And obviously, we've listened to the fans saying we want a match day programme. We're going to do it online for now, see how it goes. But it is yours to enjoy at this moment in time. Please have a look at it. A lot of work's gone into it. Give us your feedback. Let the club know what you think. And as I've said before, there's lots more to come from the club itself and from the media outlets as we aim to improve our engagement with you, the fans.
Plenty of pieces in that matchday programme written by myself as well, Pete.
Yeah, so Ben's worked hard on it. We've not allowed him to play out this week because he's had to do all the writing up. But well done. Junior Moores! Oh, I thought Junior Moores was going to go and...
Great pass from John Davis.
Yeah, fifth and last tackle then. Quick hands.
That's superb! Oh, wow.
Well, he gives a try. Hat-trick for Gareth Gale. The man is a machine. He cannot stop scoring.
I'll tell you what, Pete, that has got to be there for try of the week. New Brown, he's passed that a while to go. It's a great pass, but it's a bit low for Gaz Gale. Ball looks like it's going to go into touch. And Gaz Gale shows a bit of his footballing skills there, sticks out his right foot, stops the ball plumb, and then picks the ball up and places it over the whitewash. Gaz Gale with a hat-trick. Featherstone Rovers 26, Newcastle fund the nil.
Well, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. In all fairness, well done for Manu Brown, who for me is having a wow. And well done, Gareth Gale. A hat-trick today. That is just phenomenal. Leading try scorer in the league. How many now, Ben?
15 tries, Pete.
And you can only say there's more to come. Craig Orr with the kick then. Right below our commentary position. That is just going to fall a little bit short. Unlucky for Mr. Hall. But it is Featherstone 26, Newcastle 0. The conversion missed. I know that Craig Hall will be kicking himself a little bit for that one. And I don't mean that to sound punny, but you know, I know that he doesn't enjoy it when he misses.
Yeah, wow, I'll tell you what, Pete, try of the week. Next week.
Great try. Great try. Josh Woods then. And the ball falls off the kicking tee. So he'll readdress that. And then strike that with his left leg again. Into the hands of Holmes. Holmes finds Luke Cooper. And the Mallard is away and chugging down the track. Over the 20-metre line before he's brought down. Dagger will run straight and hard. Straight at the heart of the Newcastle defence before he's brought down. And it is Jones around the ruck area, on to Frankie Holton. Frankie Holton trying to find a little bit of a gap. Rovers now over their own 40-metre line on the third tackle, and still a little bit of messing about. John Davis onto Brown. Brown onto Hardcastle. Hardcastle thought about letting the pass go and chose to hold tight, and it's a good job that he did as Newcastle was stacking up in numbers. Josh Hardcastle then to Dagger. Dagger to Brown. Brown in the middle sells that little shimmy again. That's worked. Beats one, beats two, beats three. Offloads to Moores. Moores out the back door to Hardcastle. And Gareth Gale back on the inside.
Rovers, well.
Well.
Josh Hardcastle finishing it off.
From scorer to provider. New Brown again worked so hard. He managed to get the linkage right. Found Hardcastle involved. And then moved the ball to Gareth Gale. You thought Gareth Gale was going to steam away, but Gareth Gale knew he was running out of space before suddenly spotting Hardcastle back on the inside. Offloads to Hardcastle, gives Hardcastle a nice TRY on this Saturday evening. Rovers out to 30, Newcastle 0. 8 minutes left. Ben, wow.
Wow, Pete. New Brown and Junior Moores, how impressive have they been today? I tell you what, New Brown, that shimmy. Not one, not two, not three. Evades all of these Newcastle defenders. Offloads to Junior Moores. Out the back of his hand. Into Gaz Gale. Looks like he's going to run out of space. But Josh Hardcastle turns up at the right time for a nice try. And Craig Hall, just inside of the post, converts. Featherstone Rovers 32. Newcastle 1-0.
Well, struck with purpose there from Hall to add the extras. And as Ben says, 32 points to 0. Newcastle will want to get in for the half-time debrief, no doubt. They're just looking a little bit dejected as they walk back up the slope. The sun's now disappeared. It's been a glorious afternoon here in West Yorkshire. And the pitch looks absolutely amazing. She's looking really well as the pitch. Lovely colour. Fantastic playing surface here at the Millennium, and the ball has fallen off the tee again. So I think it might need a bit of glue on that at half time to make sure that stays. But Woods does eventually kick it, and that goes into the hands of Dagger, and Dagger just decides he's going to have a little run himself before he's brought down. So Jones to Davis. Davis with a purposeful run there at speed. Gets some momentum from around the ruck area. And Newcastle again lying on, slowing the play down. And the referee is saying, come on, let's have it. Callum Field now on to the fray. Enters the fray, does Callum Field? I'm not too sure. We will find out who's replaced. As Connor Jones. Yeah, it replaces Louis McConnell. And it is Luke Cooper. Luke Cooper is brought down. So Field on for McConnell. Cooper with the ball. Ball from Jones to Davis. Davis two for Manu. Brown. Brown sells the dummy. He's away. He's New Brown. He's away. He's New Brown. He's got support from Craig Hall. Wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. New Brown, take a bow. Man of the match performance so far in the first half. And their guy hasn't even scored. I am talking quality. That's what you pay the bucks for. If these fans here aren't entertained, I don't know what will entertain them, Ben. But that man there is quality.
Are you not entertained, Featherstone Rovers? I tell you what, New Brown is absolutely fantastic, isn't he? What a game he's had so far. And that shimmy, that step, Pete. The thing is, the Newcastle defenders, they probably know what's going to happen, but you just can't stop it. It's absolutely inch perfect every time, and he lays it off on the inside to Craig Hall. Slippery as an eel, as you say, Pete.
Certainly is.
And his first try of the day.
Certainly is. Well, Craig Hall then, making sure that he put the ball down. We now move out. The score is
36-0.
Yeah, I'm sure it's 36-0 as well.
It is.
But we'll wait for the kick to come.
38 now.
Yep, and that is it. Craig Hall converts his try. So Craig Hall with the try. And Craig Hall with the goal. And it is Featherstone 36. Sorry, 38. Featherstone 38. Well, why does the scoreboard say 40? I am confused.
It's 100% 38.
Yeah.
Error on the scoreboard there.
Yeah.
I've definitely got it.
Yeah. Well, we've got it right, mate. We've got it right. We've got it
We
right.
don't make mistakes, do we?
We've got it right. Not
there
often,
we go.
mate.
It's changed to 38 now.
There you go. Anyway, here we go then. Holmes. As the sun graces us with its presence. 4 minutes left. 38-0. Rovers fully in command of this one. And putting in another great show of rugby league so far. Whiteley will just take a run. Very, very robust player is Whiteley. Very well built. Does have a look of Brad Day around him, about him. And as we mentioned, Brad Day, we wish to send our best regards and speedy recovery to Brad Day after his operation on his Achilles. So take it easy, mate, and we'll see you tune. So, fifth and last tackle then. Cooper finds Holmes. Holmes just puts a little kick. That's going to bounce. Ooh. And that is going to find touch as we look to run the clock down here. The referee, Mr. Bennett, talking to both teams, asking where Newcastle would like the restart. And it will be Newcastle that get the ball. 6 to go. And Will Dagger at the back, telling his team not to go too early and to control the rucks, which is what is needed here now, just to close Newcastle out as Chapelau comes forward. He's brought down on his 30-metre line. As Newcastle stay on the inside track, they will go. Little shimmy away there, and that sees Newcastle make a break. Newcastle tearing up the park here.
Will Dagger, that man again.
Eventually, Isaac Noakes is brought down, as he certainly made some good momentum there. Newcastle then with Woods. Woods will move the ball down to this line, and Newcastle have switched it right to this left-hand side. Now we have a little bit of football skills, and Josh Hardcastle does his footballing best there and knocks the player into touch. Now Josh Hardcastle is hanging on to the ball, just waiting for what the referee is going to say. And he has given the ball back to Newcastle, so Josh Hardcastle does decide to let Newcastle have it. And it will be Kyle Trout who plays the ball. So Newcastle looking to put some move on, looking to try and find something here. But Featherstone's defence will want to shut out the shop again and nil this Newcastle team in this first half, if they can. I hope that's not the curse, Ben. I hope that's not the curse. Newcastle putting the ball through hands. They will spread it now. They'll go down. Now the gap has opened up. Is this going to see a Newcastle score? No, it's not. It's great defence from Perry Whiteley and co. over on the far side in front of the stable stand.
That's been celebrated like a try by the players, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah, well, it's try saving. It's certainly what the doctor ordered, and it certainly gives you the momentum as you close in on half time. And Newcastle must know that they're really, really up against it with very little going their way. But Featherstone's defence been absolutely tremendous so far. John Davis to Gale. Gale to Hardcastle. Hardcastle is away. Oh, he's just ankle tapped and brought down on his own 20. Gareth Gale then, and that looks like Gareth Gale said, if you want to bring him in. And we're certainly seeing Bob Bezic. And this is what I'm saying, the old campaigner Bezic. Yeah, yeah, he knows what he's doing, does Bezic. He's been around long enough to know exactly what it means and how to get away with it. So, Brown brought down. Ball quickly played. Davis to Field. Field is making the collision. And Callum Field goes down. Callum Field having a wow in the games he's playing so far. But that's a great ball to Moores. Moores looking to offload. Moores around the back door to Hardcastle. Referee says play on. Hardcastle returns the favour to Gareth Gale. 4 in the first half. Hardcastle says, listen mate, I'm going to pay you back. There you go. Pints are even. And another try for Gareth Gale. He
didn't want to fork out that £3.50 for the pint, did he? But tell you what, Junior Moores, wow, him and Lou Brown, they have been, without even scoring a try, they have been the star boys for Featherstone Rovers. A massive collision with a Newcastle defender bouncing off Moores. Moores out the back of the hand into Josh Hardcastle, who finds Gaz Gale, who scores his 4th of the day. And Gareth Gale moves on to 16 tries for the season. The league's top scorer is loving life right now, and some of those Fev lunatics.
Well, straight, more or less, on the stroke of half-time. If you're going to score, there's no better time to score. As we're often told by coaches that it does just take the wind out of any sails before you go into half-time and gives the opposition something to think about. There goes the hooter as we wait for the kick to come. And Craig Hall, oh, unlucky Mr. Hall, just sends that one slightly to the left of the upright. So, half-time here at the Millennium. It is Featherstone 42, Newcastle 0. It is Newcastle that will get us underway. And it is Featherstone that will defend the Post Office Road end. And the ball is kicked deep. And that goes into the hands of Dagger. Dagger into Field. And Field just takes the ball and is brought down under the tackle. So, Hardcastle, try scoring in the first half. Try provider in the first half. Will carry on trundling forward before he's brought down. Davis takes this drive, takes this well. Soaks up 3 defensive efforts there from Newcastle. Frankie Alton then, as we find a bit of space down in front of our tometry position, as Craig Hall looks to offload. Craig Hall is brought down. It takes 4 Newcastle defenders to bring him down. Harrison being the last one to clear the ruck for Newcastle. Cooper hits and spins, beats 1, beats 2, before eventually he's brought down just shy of the 50-metre line. 5th and last tackle then. Featherstone still inside their own half as Holmes,
kick from Tom Holmes
puts the ball.
Well taken, that.
Yeah, and that's well taken by Newcastle. Put the ball high, but it is Rovers that will go and defend, and Rovers trying to muscle the man back into touch, but for him he goes down and submits under the tackle. Well surrendered. Need to be careful here, otherwise we're in danger there of lifting the man over the horizontal. Tom Holmes realised that, let him go. So Newcastle trying to just find a small chink in the Featherstone defence, but so far none has been forthcoming for them. But they do find a gap now. That's Bezic. Bezic back on the inside to the supporting runner. That is...
Cheer and Frankie Holton done well there, though.
I think that's Noakes that was supporting there. Woods now, and Woods throws the ball back on the inside to Jake Anderson. Jake Anderson is brought down by John Davis and Callum Field on Rovers 20 midline. A kick over the top, and that's going to see Newcastle work to Newcastle's favour, work to Newcastle's advantage.
Kieran Gill.
A Newcastle score, and it is Kieran Gill, who, if I'm not mistaken, I think he is Newcastle's leading try scorer this season with 8 so far. So that's his 9th of the season.
Wow, Featherstone just haven't got out of the blocks, have they? Brilliant. Tell you what, though, Josh Woods, fantastic kick in behind. Kieran Gill, the most alert to it, completely caught the Featherstone defence off guard, and Kieran Gill gets over.
Well done, Kieran Gill, for taking that one.
9 tries a season, impressive tally for him, and
yeah,
that brings the Newcastle travelling faithful into voice for the first time today.
Yeah, first time that we've heard them today, and they certainly like that one, did the boys from the northeast.
Rightly so. It's a brilliant try, you know, from Kieran Gill there. Like I say, Josh Woods, clever, inventive kick in behind, and Featherstone done so well, didn't they, Pete, in the first half to keep the score to 0, and then early on, 3 minutes into the second half, and the 0 disappears already. I think they'll be disappointed. James Wedder was saying more of the same at half-time, probably. And now, Featherstone.
Oh, Joshua Woods takes the kick, and Josh Woods sends that one flying high and through the post to add on the extra 2. Featherstone 42, Newcastle 6. So is this going to be the wake-up call for the Featherstone's defensive unit?
I'll be disappointed with that, I think. I think James Webster in particular will be furious, I'd say.
Well,
the manner of conceding.
I think that the boys will know just exactly what they need to do, and they'll certainly be more alert, but it will give Newcastle, who are playing down this slope here at the Millennium, it will give them a little bit of a lift. It will maybe infuse them to find that extra spurt of energy, as they seem to be doing. Certainly bringing the big men trundling forward as they look to find gaps in the Featherstone's defence. But Featherstone so far managing to stand up to it. John Davis in there again with Moores. Sorry, I was just pausing there. And now they bring the ball back to just underneath our commentary position. Fifth and last tackle then for Newcastle. Craig Hall does excellent there. Manages to absolutely take the sting out of the kick. And that then falls backwards into the hands of Frankie Holton. Frankie Holton to Holmes. Holmes to Whiteley.
Big hit there, Perry
Whiteley just bashes one of the Newcastle defenders backwards.
Reece Dean, that was. Big collision between the two there. But how good is Craig Hall at closing down them kicks, people? We've seen it time and time again.
He's a tall man, you know, a big figure. And it's like, if you think it's about having a goalkeeper in it, saving a penalty, you know, he's just going to come in and spread himself to stop them getting anyways. Brown is dancing again. Out at the back door to Moores. Moores out the back door to Gale. How did he get that ball out? I do not know, but that was superb. Gareth Gale goes down under the tackle.
Pair of them again, Brown and Moores. They're just causing havoc.
And now it is Brown. Brown through hands, gets the ball to Cooper.
Still there
and
for
a
Thunder.
one-on-one steal from Newcastle Thunder. Then Luke Cooper has the ball taken off him. Cooper is a little bit annoyed at that, says sorry to his team. And now they'll go in defence. That's
voluntary.
Yeah, very voluntary tackle. I'll just fall down, lads, while you... the referee has stopped play. We have a Newcastle man injured over on the far Millennium stand, just in front of the stand, on the 40-metre line. And the physio is calling for assistance there. So the clock will stop. 6 minutes gone of the second half. Featherstone 42. Newcastle Thunder 6. So we hope you're enjoying this one. Good evening to Paddy 28 and good evening to Fedfan Nigel. Also good evening to John Denton. Hope you're enjoying this one, John. And a big 182, Nigel Pearson, who we know tunes in to listen to mine and Ben's dulcet tones when he's not working. Any other socials, Ben? How are we doing? Anybody else?
Shout out to Alan Lloyd. 3 a.m. kickoff in Sydney. Backing the boys.
Hope you're enjoying this one, Alan.
Appreciate you listening. That's the sort of commitment that the Fev Lunatics have all the way in Sydney, listening to me and Pete. How lucky you are, Alan.
That's it. So this does look a little bit more initially serious than what we thought. So we'll carry on. Well, all sorts of records were broken last week, Ben, in the game against Dewsbury. Craig Hall, 36 points in a match. And that was, we played Dewsbury 170th time that we played the 170 fixture between the two. And it was the highest score registered against Dewsbury. And not to hark on about it, it was a thoroughly enjoyable game. I think that we saw the efforts and the certainly the endeavours of Featherstone, just exactly how good this team will be when it fully gets up to top speed on a very difficult pitch, and the smaller pitch that is that Dewsbury have.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Pete. I think James Webster spoken post-match about how difficult it is to play your rugby with the dimensions that the Dewsbury pitch has, but Fev, so many points on the board. Like you say, Craig Hall, 36 points, a summer era record, own second in all time in a match for Fev Rovers. Craig Hall, and then obviously the 9 successive wins at the start of a championship season. So many records that this Featherstone team continues to set week in, week out. Now 42 points in the first half against Newcastle. They're just having
well, I'm pleased to say that The player is up. He's managing to hobble off the park. It is Samuel Wild who...
it's a real worry, that, because today is his first game back from his injury, so I hope it's nothing serious for the young man. He's got crutches now with him, so it does look a bit of a worry. First game back.
So, it is Newcastle then that get us back underway. It is Bezic asking questions, asking for runners here now as Noakes goes down. Under the tackle of Alton and Hall. The ball moves quickly back to the inside of the park. And Davis and Cooper come in for Featherstone. And Moore's in there just to put the Newcastle attacking player to the turf. Newcastle, though, look to find a gap. Switch back on the inside very quickly. Good job that Davis and Cooper were there to read that one. As Newcastle stay in this right-hand channel. Now, that's going to be a tester for Dagger. Dagger keeps his eyes on it, and Dagger takes that one out of the air like pulling apples from a tree. Took that with ease. Perry, Whiteley, goes forward. Trying to get towards the 20-metre line of this Featherstone outfit. As Hardcastle, who's worked hard again all game, worked hard in the first half, and certainly working hard in the second half, goes forward. He's brought down. And the ball eventually finds its hand into the hands of Gareth Gale. 4 tries so far this afternoon, or this evening for Gareth Gale. Connor Jones makes some yards around the ruck as Rovers keep it tight in the centre of the park. Before now, I'm sure this is where the switch play will come as Holmes calls for the ball, and it does, and they move it out now to Hall. Hall turns on the burners. Hall puts a little chip kick through. The ball is bouncing about and ricocheting everywhere, and eventually Newcastle Thunder come up with that, and Newcastle will have possession and look now to come back down the park. Featherstone will go hunting the mistake. A good set of 6, Ben.
Yeah, brilliant set of 6 there for Fev. Made a lot of good ground on the Newcastle defensive territory. But it's a fantastic kick from Craig Hall. Good intent. Unfortunately, Will Dagger couldn't quite get on the end of it, but great work for the fullback, Callum Turner.
So it is Newcastle then who have possession. 3 tackles to go in this set of 6, and they remain in the centre of the park. And the referee actually, calls 5th and last tackle, so I apologise for getting the tackle count wrong on that one.
Nice touch from the Fev Lunatics there on the post office road end to clap the injured Sam Wild
as he makes his way around the park. But it is Featherstone who have the ball. Pretty Whiteley just goes round there and holding the back of his thigh. I hope that's not a hamstring injury, but physio comes on to see Pretty Whiteley as Hardcastle. And Featherstone now get a penalty for the Newcastle player cannonballing and coming in from the side. So this is exactly what Featherstone need, just to relieve that little bit of pressure. And Dagger kicks that one to touch right on the halfway line. Featherstone will start 5 metres in from the Millennium Stadium stand side. Hardcastle will look to hit and go. He gets over the 40-metre line. Rovers inside the Newcastle Thunder half as the ball is quickly put through hands. Cooper with a hop, skip and a jump. And a little, he's still going, his Luke Cooper before he's held. Connor Jones then finds Field. Gaps are opening up in this Newcastle line now. John Davis looking for the offload from Field, but Field couldn't manage to spot him there. He calls for a quick play of the ball. And it does go into the hands of Brown. Brown sells the dummy to Moores. Moores finds Gale, and Gareth Gale is going to have another TRY. Well, it has been, and I've got to say this, Ben, I hope you're going to agree with me, but it has been the Junior Moores and New Brown show this evening.
It has indeed, and it's them two combined again, actually. And Junior Moores, he's just, with his passing, he's so precise. Everyone, praises his running. We know that he's a big lad, he's hard to get down, he makes good yards, but even with ball in hand, he's absolutely precise, and it's just fabulous. He's found Gareth Gale, and Gaz Gale does what Gaz Gale does when he is within the whitewash territory. He gets over, and he adds an extra 4 points onto the scoreboard, and Gaz Gale has 5 for the day. 20 points for him today. What a day he's having. the league's top try scorer.
Well, at 46-6 in the favour of the Featherstone Rovers. 50 minutes gone. Still plenty more time for plenty more points in this one. Gareth Gale with 5 tries this afternoon. He's having a wow, and he's been able to have a wow because Junior Moores and New Brown have been absolutely outstanding today and have linked well and have brought in the opportunities, allowing Gareth Gale to finish off. Well, Craig Hall strikes the ball and Craig Hall misses that one, and the score remains Featherstone 46, Newcastle 6, as Junior Moores leaves the field to a great reception, a great round of applause, and on comes the little magic man, Dean Parada, to organise things now. Now this should hopefully see the ruck play speed up as New Brown comes up with an error. Oh, so unlucky New Brown. Bounces off his chest, yeah.
And you can see how disappointed he is because he's a perfectionist, New Brown, but I think the fans will let him off with one error after the absolute performance he's put in. But how nice was that to get Junior Moores a standing ovation like that? But I tell you what, seeing Connor Jones and Dean Parata next to each other excites me, Pete. You know I'm a massive fan of Dean Parata.
Yeah, me too, mate, me too. I think the little magic man is really, really quality, and it showed last week with his 4 tries and man of the match performance. Anyway, back to the action. It is Newcastle, 6 metres away from the Featherstone try line. Newcastle trying to add to their tally, but Featherstone's defence just holding firm as Woods puts the ball through hand. That comes loose.
Craig Hall's done brilliantly.
Back forward now.
From
Soccer skills from Craig Hall. Who's going to have this one? It is going to be a Newcastle player that picks it up, and that sees Tom Holmes in there to tackle.
Tom Holmes gets involved.
Yeah, and Tom Holmes eventually brings down the number 28, Kane Tyra of Newcastle. And Kane Tyra, I think, has twisted his ankle in that one. 1 or 2 of the Newcastle players weren't particularly happy with the aggression shown there from Holton and Holmes. And
I think that was a bit of payback from earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Kane Tyra
Tom Holmes certainly talking to Bezic, and certainly Nathan Wild, I think it is. That's
yeah, a lot of words been exchanged. I think Newcastle have tried to ruffle some feathers of the Featherstone, ironically, but Fev players, you know, they've stood strong and they're always up for the physical battle if they have to.
Well, it is Newcastle that still have possession, and it is Kane Tyra that's sat on the floor, waiting for him to get back up, waiting for the physio to say he's okay. Bezic will give him the ball back. Holmes and Alton, and Bezic's just looking here. Who's he going to hit? Yeah, he's going to hit Wildy, and Wildy is eventually brought down by Parada and Field. Bezic crabs across the field. Woods.
John Davies.
Yeah, John Davies comes out the line superbly.
Great hit.
And stops any attacking play there from Newcastle. But Newcastle get a quick play of the ball. Parada, Cooper and Davies again in there in a 3-man tackle to keep Newcastle to around about 25 metres. But Bob Bezic spots the gap. Bob Bezic runs at Dean Parada. Bob Bezic and Dean Parada doing a waltz there as Bezic pirouettes down the field. And the referee now is going to give a penalty to Bob Bezic. For
he used his experience there, Bezic, didn't he?
Yeah, well, that's called experience, an old man in the referee in any other case. But Bezic will get Newcastle another set of 6. Newcastle will reset and go again as they try to force a gap in the Featherstone defence. Bezic sells a dummy, ball to Woods. Holton comes out, Holton cleans up Woods, and that's another fantastic hit from the Featherstone's defensive team. Bezic spots the gap. Bezic dancing with Parada again, and Bezic is eventually twisted
Holton
back.
And Callum Field have done
that is strength.
There.
That is pure strength there with Dagger. And now it is Newcastle who seem to think they can go down the same channel again. And it is Will Dagger, Cooper and Field all doing great defensive hits there. And that again stops Newcastle bang in the tracks. 5th and last tackle. inches away from the line. Fantastic defensive play from Featherstone Rovers as the ball goes wide now. Wood with a little kick over the top, and that allows Gareth Gale just to watch that go dead. Now Gareth Gale is going to be quick here, and if Gareth Gale gets a chance, he'll tap it quick before Newcastle even get a chance to get most men back, and Gareth Gale tries to beat one, but eventually is brought down. Unlucky there that he wasn't able to offload as Featherstone had an overlap, but it is Brown to Hardy. Hardy is eventually brought down on his own 40-metre line. I'm just looking here, Frankie Alton down in back play with what looks like
eye injury, I think.
Yeah, it looks like a nose injury of some sort. I hope Frankie's going to be all right. As Luke Cooper loving the rough stuff here at the Millennium. Callum Field spots the gap. Callum Field offloads to Connor Jones.
Offload.
Connor Jones finds Dean Parada. Dean Parada is going to go. And Tom Holmes was taken out in back play there. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's one for the RFL to look at. I'm not sure if any of the touch judges or the ref himself spotted that. But Pete, what did I say? That's my man, Dean Parada.
Well,
How's he been on the pitch? 3 minutes and he already gets himself a try, but sort of about Callum Field there for me. What an offload that was. Out the back of the hand, I didn't even see it. Like a magician, Callum Field there. Like a wizard waving his wand. And speaking of wizards waving their wands, the Australian wizard, Dean Parada there, over the whitewash. And it's 50 up for Featherstone Rovers.
Well, you've got to credit Callum Field. You've got to credit Luke Cooper for keeping the ball alive. And you've certainly got to credit the fact that Dean Parada ran on the inside line with Connor Jones to make sure that he got the ball back and was able to turn on the afterburners. It's good to see that Tom Holmes is up and walking back. I thought he may have twisted an ankle or been taken out in back play there. And Craig Hall having a laugh and a joke with the touch judge there, racing the touch judge back into position, but does convert that one. So Featherstone 52, Newcastle 6.
Be interesting to see what happened with Tom Holmes there, Pete.
Yeah.
I didn't quite notice it. I was watching the actual trial.
Well, I don't know if he actually fell over himself or he was taken out, but it looked like he was taken out. Hardcastle then, with the ball in hand. Hardcastle still going forward, allowing again. Newcastle seem to want to bring him back up the field. Brown to Gareth Gale. They've linked well. Featherstone get a penalty for Newcastle being offside. Dagger will put boot to ball. He'll send that high. Hits the roof of the Millennium stand. Bounces back onto the field. Hardcastle will collect it. And we will start again 5 metres in on the 40-metre line of this Newcastle team. John Davis then. John Davis is brought down as we edge towards the 30-metre line. Brown spreads the ball right across into the hands of Cooper eventually. Cooper will pirouette away and he's eventually brought down. Rovers 25 out. Connor Jones spots the gap. Connor Jones looking for the run of Parata. Parata into the gap, but then is very quickly wrapped up by the advancing Newcastle defence. 18 metres away. Cooper to the left.
Oh,
now
no,
we
Brown's
switch the play,
there.
and there goes Hardcastle.
Oh, Josh Hardcastle! Wow!
Wow! Through the gap, and again, all made by that little man Brown.
Dancing on grass there, Josh Hardcastle.
Yeah, he was away, mate. So that's his second try of the afternoon. Yeah. And do you not know? You've got to pump it up, Ben.
And Featherstone are definitely pumping up now, Pete. They're pumping up their muscles, and they're flexing their muscles, and they're pumping up the score as it now reaches 56 points to 6. And this is what I was talking about. Fev, they just go through phases in matches where they're absolutely devastating. And they're going through that phase now with 2 tries in around about 4 minutes through Parata and Josh Hardcastle. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, we've gone through a spell, Ben, of literally 10 minutes. And in that 10-minute spell, we have seen tries from Gareth Gale, his 5th of the afternoon, Dean Parada and Josh Hardcastle there. And we've also then seen Craig Hall with the conversion. Featherstone 58, Newcastle 6. And it's all good.
In the hood.
In the hood, yeah, mate, yeah. It is. As Hall kicks that one. How many has he kicked today then, Ben?
I make it 7, Pete. 7 successful conversions for Craig Hall today. Oh, a bit juggling there from Josh Hardcastle.
Well, the referee says he has knocked on. So, that's twice now where we've come up with an error when we've been in great position to get the ball back. We saw New Brown knock on. We saw Josh Hardcastle basically replicate the error of New Brown.
Yeah, that's a bit worrying, that. You expect, players of their quality to be taking it. I think it's just a bit of maybe complacency kicking into the game, Pete.
Well, Newcastle then keeping the ball alive, and we then see James Harrison back on the park, replaced Connor Jones as Newcastle with Bezic and Woods looking just to try and find runners. Bezic now telling his line to get sorted. The ball comes loose, and Woods shields that one, allowing his teammate to pick it up. Parada's out there, Fields out there, just trying to close Newcastle down, and Chapel out is eventually wrapped up by Cooper and Frankie Holton, and they actually go backwards there. So they lost a bit of yards, but they are still camped just shy of the Rovers 10. Quickly move the ball right across the park. They've gone from left to right, and that, now then, is the referee going to give that? No.
He's not giving it.
So Gareth Gale wanting a quick restart. No, sorry, Josh Hardcastle wanting a quick restart there. But
I thought he got over there, Pete. What happened?
No. I think the referee said it was slightly forward.
Oh yeah.
Or he certainly gave the signal as if it was forward.
There, fantastic bit of play from Newcastle there, though. They were moving the ball around really quick, and they actually had 2 men over on that far hand side.
Well, this looks serious for Kieran Gill, who has been in a rich try-scoring vehement form for Newcastle. And as soon as you see the physio send a signal like that, it does look worrying.
9 tries this season, their top try scorer. We wish him the best, obviously. It does look serious.
As Frankie Holton leaves the field for Featherstone, replaced by Louis McConnell.
James Harrison returns to the field as well for Connor Jones.
Yeah. So
decent run out for James Harrison there on his return.
Yeah. So we do have a break. The referee has stopped the clock. We've got around 19 minutes left of this second period. Featherstone 58, Newcastle 6. Ben, we've seen some good tries so far. Do you think, Ben, that we'll get a try on the try of the week this week?
For me, Pete, I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm not one of the selectors, but that Gaz Gale try where he controls it with his feet.
You score 5, you would expect one of them to be in,
wouldn't
you?
And I think that bit of inventiveness was just pure class, but it's also one I can vaguely remember of Junior Moore's barging his way through down just in front of us here, out the back of the hand. I think it might have been maybe Josh Hardcastle's first try, or possibly another one of Gareth Gale's. But yeah, I think the Gaz Gale one, where he controls it with his feet off the pass from New Brown, for me, that would make it my try of the week anyway. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm right. Let's see. Who knows?
Well, I don't think we could ever be biased, Ben. Do you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately. You know what I mean? But
and here go the Fev Lunatics in loud voice.
The boys are striking up the band.
Pumping it up as Darude Sandstorm plays out. You like this one, Pete, don't you?
A bit of Sandstorm, yes. Yes. I have been seen in Pasha, getting my groove on. And I don't mean in Ibiza, Pasha in Batley. I'm joking, of course.
Catch me in Ibiza. But yeah, worrying times here is Kieran Gill. It looks to be in significant discomfort. Hopefully it's not as serious as it may seem at first glance.
Well, let's hope that that everything is well for Kieran, as he's still receiving treatment down there. The referee has rightly stopped play, and as we were saying, Ben, earlier on, the the club hope to make some further announcements next week in relation to Wembley and what the plans are. And I know that tickets have been selling well so far. If you've not had a chance to get your tickets, I would urge you to do so, as you know, we look to take a huge following down to Wembley, where we play York City Knights in the final of the 1895 Cup. And it's good to see that Kieran Gill is able to walk around the outside of the park, and referee taking his time. He's just letting Kieran Gill get away from the any danger of running into or anybody colliding with him, as the Rovers supporters at the post office end rightly clap Kieran Gill's efforts. Dean Parada then is waiting to get the ball and waiting to get back underway. Good evening, Dave Langfield. I hope you're enjoying this one. I don't know the answer to your question, Dave, but I will try and find out in due course and let you know. Also, good evening to Bullock Shed. Great supporter. Love having conversations with Bullock Shed, and love the work that he does on social media as well. Very entertaining. So, back underway. Cooper takes the tackle. Chapelau back into the action for Newcastle. Ed Chapelau, that is. And now it's Holmes. On to Harrison. Harrison just manages to, well, the Newcastle player, Harrison, who on the Newcastle team, took a little bit of a knock there. So we'll see how that develops. And Featherstone's Harrison, James Harrison, of course, just looks nonchalant there, as if nothing's happened. Callum Field wanting to play the ball, not being allowed to do so. Brown to Cooper. Cooper will just take a few yards forward before he's brought down just shy of the Newcastle 30-metre line. Fifth and last tackle signal from the referee. New Brown with the kick. Greatly recovered there by the Newcastle player, and a Featherstone caught offside. And Newcastle take the quick kick very quickly. So we away for play to restart. Does eventually restart with Newcastle. John Davies to the fore there, tackling. Woods trying to find runners coming across the park. As now Newcastle, and he actually runs back. Well, he actually runs back into his own man and sits his own man down. So I dare say Nathan Wild will be having words with his own teammate later on that one. But it is Newcastle with Chapelau, who is wrapped up by Harrison and Parada. Bezic moves the ball to the left-hand side, and it is eventually Newcastle that are brought down just shy of the Featherstone Rovers 20-metre line. So Newcastle just trying to find a small chink, looking for runners, trying to find a gap. Holmes is there, and he's going to get penalised here now for what was, well, the referee's deeming it a high tackle. He was around the head of Noakes. So Newcastle will get another 6 to go. Bezic to Jay Chapelau. And Jay Chapelau is brought down. Bezic again to Woods. Woods looking for runners. And
Luke Cooper, that's a
Luke
great
Cooper
hit.
there, straight out of the line. Does manage to stop Ed Chapelau. And now Woods.
Are over. No. Yeah, they are.
And it's Bezic then manages to sneak a little try of his own. So the old campaigner there at 36, still showing he knows his way to the try line as Newcastle hit back for what can only be a consolation try. 15 minutes left. It is Featherstone 58, Newcastle 10 with the kick to come, Ben.
Yeah, it's a great bit of play there from Newcastle. The pressure told, and in the end, you know, a high tackle from Tom Holmes proved costly, didn't it, Pete? Fresh set of 6 for the Thunder, and they take full advantage of it with Bob Bezic getting over with a kick to come. And I can't say it's not deserved. I think the last few minutes, Newcastle have been the better side. They've been on the front foot, had the ascendancy, and they've got to try to show for it.
Well, we've had a few stoppages with knocks and bumps and bruises and injuries, etc. And I think that's what's maybe have taken a little bit of the momentum
took the sting out of the game.
Yeah, out of the Featherstone attack as Woods kicks that one for his second of the afternoon. So Woods with the goal and Bezic with the try. Featherstone 58, Newcastle Thunder 12. And it will be Newcastle that will get the ball back from Dagger's kick. Once Dagger corrects himself and the referee, Nick Bennett, says yes, let's get it back on. He's making sure all the Featherstone players are on side. And Dagger strikes that one deep. And eventually it is collected deep in the Newcastle half. And Newcastle will have to run back from deep within their own half. And that run back is in the shape of Nathan Wild. And he's eventually brought down by Cooper and Field. Dean Parada in there to the fore with Cooper again, doubling up in the tackle, bringing down the Newcastle attacking team. And again, you see Field and Parata in there getting through some tackles as Chapelhow comes in. And he's eventually brought down. And Newcastle keeping the ball in the centre of the park as the other Chapelhow brother now is eventually brought down. A little kick over the top, read by New Brown. And Featherstone get the penalty for Newcastle obviously being offside, which they were because they didn't give New Brown any yardage there on that one. The kick is quickly taken.
Over the Millennium Stadium.
Yeah. And I think Jack Bussey is now looking for the ball, but doesn't seem to know where it's gone. Anyway, it is Callum Field who's been steady again in his performance today. Newcastle slow the play down, not allowing Featherstone to get any momentum as McConnell back into the action. He finds Cooper, and Cooper eventually is held. Craig Hall coming in to find some work. New Brown will take the tackle as Featherstone now organised for what they're going to do as Holmes is in there. He's pushing the back line across, and this ball is going to come to this left-hand side unless McConnell goes through the gap. McConnell, a little bit unlucky there. Louis McConnell is eventually wrapped up there by a three-man Newcastle defensive unit. But again, we see another knock to the Newcastle player, and this is going to slow things down and stop whatever planned move Featherstone had coming off, because it looks set that they were all set to go. Ben, it's not been a bad game, Ben, but I think we're at a point in the game now where it's starting just to fade away a little bit, isn't it?
It's peter out, isn't it? Yeah, I think the second half display hasn't been as good from Fev. You know, the first half was brilliant, 42 points. I'm sure James Weddington will be driving his players on, asking for more of the same, but don't think they've played with quite the same intensity in this second half, Pete. You know, whether it's down to the many stoppages we've had, 3 or 4 stoppages now, maybe halting the momentum of the Fev players, but Fev come again here. Tom Holmes is going to dance his way through. He's met with a big Newcastle tackle.
So Holmes then will quickly play the ball. Parada will keep it to this left-hand side and unfortunately puts too much on it. Harrison unable to collect it, acknowledges his error. Sorry if you pick up any foul language there in the commentary. It wasn't myself or Ben. As Newcastle back to 1. And Newcastle now with a fair few tackles as the lights come on here at the Millennium then. We've got about 10 minutes left of this one, if I'm not mistaken, Ben.
Yeah, no, you're right, Pete.
It is Newcastle who have the possession. Newcastle working with the ball. Callum Field in there. Luke Cooper just getting through the defensive stint as Bezic keeps that tight to find a man through the gap in Chapelhow. And it is now Newcastle that will try to get some forward momentum. Bezic again to Woods. Woods kicks the ball. It strikes John Davis.
Oh,
and that goes back. The ball's still
loose.
live. And
he's just got himself onto it.
Oh. Well, we see the Newcastle player there. I think it's Kieran Gill who's back to the action now. Over on the far wing where he was before. As managing to get away with that one, as Ben rightly said. So Newcastle, centre of the park. Featherstone's defence,
wow,
and John Davis. Oh, indeed, Mr. Grumpy himself. Certainly putting a smile on the Featherstone faithful fans there.
Fabulous
faces. What a fantastic hit again on Joshua Woods. And I think he's picked him out 3 or 4 times during this game. Harrison then. And that's anybody's ball. Who wants it? There's a little bit of a kicking fest, a little bit of pushing and shoving. James Harrison is annoyed, and the referee's calling him across, along with Reece Dean. Sure, there's nothing more in that than just a little bit of handbags, but James Harrison's annoyed. He'll want to put it right now, as Newcastle will go again in search through James Chapelhow. Newcastle retaining possession. That goes into the hands of the Ed Chapelhow. But it is Featherstone's defence that muscle up to keep this play quiet, to keep Newcastle down. Won't want to concede anymore, won't Rovers. Number 21 then for Reece Dean, dancing away, trying to get away before a fantastic hit from Callum Field, and Louis McConnell wrap him up, but that allows Newcastle to come from deep.
Luke Cooper's done brilliantly there.
That allows Johnny Davis and Luke Cooper to force the error from the Newcastle attack, and Featherstone will get the ball back. Big congratulations to Luke Cooper there and John Davis, who certainly made sure that Kyle Trout wasn't going to get anything.
He was coming in at real speed, wasn't he, Pete? And then the impact of the collision just sets the ball free, as Fev now look to make some yards and
this will be a test now.
Some of the pressure.
This will be a test now to see if Featherstone can actually find anything to get through this Newcastle defensive line that is standing quite shallow at this time, trying to stop Featherstone getting any momentum coming up this slope. Featherstone's play of the ball around the ruck has been severely hampered this evening, as Newcastle have done all they can to slow everything down. Hardcastle tackled on his own 40-metre line. Parada in that acting half. Parada finds Cooper. Cooper will just take the run, drops the shoulder, steady yardage, and will allow the Newcastle attackers before he gets the penalty. And Luke Cooper there is, well, I don't know what's been said between Luke Cooper and I think it's Jay Chapelhow there.
Yeah, it was Jay Chapelhow.
Yeah. I don't know what was being said there, but I don't think they'll be swapping telephone numbers.
No, Cooper didn't like something that Chapelhow said, and then the players had a little bit of afters, but handbags, I describe that one as Pete. New Brown was.
Yeah. Well, Featherstone do get the penalty. Dagger will strike that one and send that one flying high into the night sky here at the Millennium. Connor Jones waits for the ball. Holmes is in there. He knows what he wants. He knows who he wants to run this ball. And it is Holmes in the pivot. Finds Louis McConnell. Louis McConnell arcing back towards the left-hand side. Rovers go towards the 30-metre line. As it is now Field. Field will gallop forward. Field still going is Callum Field. Another great run from Field, as he's made all game so far. And Field is eventually brought down. Quick play of the ball. Allows Parada to go through the gap. Parada, the magician, offloads to McConnell. McConnell to Holmes. Holmes finds his way. He's going to dance and shimmy. And he's Holmes over. Yes, he is.
Oh, Tom Holmes.
Fantastic play there. Tom Holmes knew what he wanted, and Tom Holmes was getting a try. Well done, Tom Holmes. But I've got to say, fantastic play there from Callum Field, and Louis McConnell helped Tom Holmes get that one.
For Tom Holmes, Pete, I'm used to seeing that move on a Saturday night, but it's not on BBC One at Strictly Come Dancing. 'Cause that is absolutely brilliant. Twisting and turning, pirouetting. Newcastle defenders just couldn't handle him. Too hot to handle. Mr. Thomas Holmes, as he gets himself over for his first try today. But the magician Dean Parata, off the quick play of the ball. How good is he at that, Pete? Getting the ball and just driving at pace at the opposition defence. And he made that, and then a very clever little offload to Holmes, and he done the rest. Jinxing and weaving and turning and pirouetting around the Newcastle defence. And Tom Holmes brings 60 up for Featherstone Rovers. 62-2.
Oh, well.
And it remains 62-2.
Well, I'm just trying to think. That's got to be one of the very few occasions I've actually seen the ball hit the cone on the top of the uprights that's there. Usually they'd have flags on in days of old, Ben. But, yeah, strikes the cone on the top of the upright and just bounces back the other way.
Some serious precision there from Craig Hall.
Yeah, I bet he couldn't do it again.
No.
(62-12) then, Ben, man of the match time, getting close to that. Do we know who the runners and riders are?
Well, for me, I've got to be looking at two men in particular, Pete, and that is Junior Moores and Famanu Brown. Obviously, you know, Gareth Gale, 5 tries as well. It's hard to ignore him, but I just feel like they're going to be unsung heroes, New Brown and Junior Moores, with just all the work they've been putting in. They put in the whole game, had a hand in basically every single successful set that Rovers had. Yeah, and Moores and Brown for me are the two front runners at the minute, Pete.
I'm going to throw a name into the ring there, Callum Field. I think he's been excellent again today, as has John Davis.
Josh Hardcastle as well.
Yeah, another great game. Brown to Dagger. Here's the planned move. Hardcastle through the gap. Hardcastle races away. He's got support on the inside, support on the outside. He goes for the outside. Gareth Gale, have it. And, well, Gareth Gale there, just oozing class, oozing pace. And that has got to be the one that gets try of the week for me, mate.
Yeah, that was absolutely superb, wasn't it? And Pete, I'm not just a pretty face. Josh Hardcastle, how good was he in the build-up there? Once again, not for the first time today, laying off Gareth Gale and Gaz Gale. Showboating at the end there to get the ball over the whitewash, as he brings up 66 points for Featherstone Rovers, as well as 6 tries this evening, as Gaz Gale is now on 24 points. I make that today. What a stellar performance from him.
I think you could safely say, you know, man of the match, as we've talked about. You know, Gareth Gale, 6 tries. It's just going to...
it's hard to go against that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Pete?
it is. He's just going to walk away.
Brown, Moores, Hardcastle, Field, as you say, have been 6 Gareth Gale tries is absolutely superb.
You've still got to score them, Ben. You've still got to score them.
You have.
So, Craig Hall kicks that one. And we're being told that that equals another record for Gareth Gale. We don't know what record it is. We'll try and find out and update you in due course. And
Successful conversion, sponsored by East Yorkshire Shutters. Make some noise for number 1, Craig Hall.
68 points
68
to 12.
points to 12 then, as Ben says. And I'm just echoing Ben there. 68 points to 12. We knew there was a chance that it could be a high-scoring game. And we certainly know that it's been fantastic. So a club record there for Gareth Gale of 6 tries in a game. And fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Well-deserved Gareth Gale. Good evening, Ron Shaw. Hope you've enjoyed the game. Good evening, Cliff Longsdale. We hope you've enjoyed the game. And good evening, Helen Grace. We hope you have too. Mark Ashton, thanks for tuning in. As Featherstone now are caught in possession. Referee is going to hand possession over to Newcastle, in fact. And right on the halfway line, right in the centre of the park, Newcastle will come again. And it will be try scorer today, Kieran Gill, who's back on. So, making sure now that the names are up. Get your votes in for the man of the match. And we'll see how that goes. There has been some stellar performances today. None more so than Callum Field, who's in there again, helping out his teammates, Dean Parada and John Davis, get the tackles done as Harrison is put to the floor.
On the man of the match poll, you can now vote for you on Twitter. The options are Gareth Gale, Gareth Gale, Gareth Gale, and Gareth Gale.
There's no bias, honestly. Newcastle then, bit of a sloppy pass. Well done, Connor Jones, to stop that going anywhere further. And that will see an handover there to Featherstone. So well done, Connor Jones, for reading that one. As he will now get the ball. Referee says play on. Harrison with that usual stellar drive of his that we've become so familiar with here at the Millennium. He's eventually brought down just shy of the 30-metre line. Parada working it on the inside to Hardcastle. The hard-working, 2-try scoring Josh Hardcastle today. And Josh Hardcastle quickly plays the ball as Callum Field, who's had a great stint in defence, and now he's taking the ball forward. He will just soak that up as we run down the clock here towards the game's conclusion. Parata to McConnell. There goes the hooter. That's the last tackle. 10 from 10. Rovers do it the hard way. Struggled in times, Ben, a little bit, when I think that was more due to the fluidity of the game stopping and, the injuries that we had. But, Ben, you've got 60 seconds. Give us your summary.
Wow, Pete. Where do I begin? What a brilliant first half we see from Featherstone Rovers, scoring 42 points. Some brilliant tries. Gaz Gale, 6 for him today. Craig Hall, another 20 points for him. Superb, really. Josh Hardcastle with 2. Connor Jones, Perry Whiteley, Dean Parata also getting themselves on the score sheet and over the whitewash today. 68 points up for Featherstone Rovers. Special shout out to Junior Moores, New Brown and Callum Field for their stellar performances. Overall, a brilliant display from Fev. 68 points to 12, the final score.